News, today's news.
Gaza residents told to evacuate.
Everyone in Gaza is under attack. There is no safe place.
Funerals in Israel.
We buried my daughter. It was an amazing year.
House Speaker nominee drops out.
It's unclear any Republican has a clear path.
Good morning. I'm Steve Kathan with the CBS World News Roundup. Israel has told more than 1 million people living in northern Gaza to leave by tomorrow as the aerial bombardment goes on following last weekend's attack by Hamas. It could be an indication Israel is getting set to send troops in on the ground. Correspondent Imtiaz Tayyab in Jerusalem reports with border exits blocked, there's no clear way out of Gaza.
Evacuate or else. Northern Gaza is being pounded relentlessly by Israeli strikes, reducing entire neighborhoods to rubble. Every morning we wake up to killings and death, this resident says. We don't know where to go. We don't know where's safe. The northern tip is home to over 1 million people. The UN has described the mass evacuation warning as impossible, saying it would have devastating consequences on civilians. Overnight, Israel says it struck 750 Hamas targets, including tunnels, military compounds, and weapons stores. In the light of day, unending scenes of chaos and carnage as the dead and wounded litter the streets. Hospitals are now at breaking point, overwhelmed by the sheer number of casualties. Exhausted doctors are being forced to make agonizing decisions.
You have to choose between the patients. Which one will survive more?
Do not be afraid, Dad. This boy says, be strong. But for so many Gazans this morning, strength will not be enough.
In Israel, there have been hundreds of funerals for the dead. CBS's Charlie Daggett.
A.L. Waldman said goodbye to his young daughter.
We buried my daughter, my youngest daughter, Danielle, only 24, and never done anything good to anyone.
California native Danielle and her boyfriend, Noam Shai, were shot dead while trying to flee that music festival.
They were attacked by 5 terrorists from 2 sides.
The former commando says those behind the attack should pay the price.
We need to resolve this thing, maybe not in a peaceful way, and we need to show force.
He expects the days ahead to be harder, realizing Danielle is no longer around.
The latest show of U.S. support, Defense Secretary Lloyd Austin meeting with Israeli Prime Minister Netanyahu in Tel Aviv.
America's support for Israel is ironclad.
At least 27 U.S. citizens have died. President Biden meets today with families of Americans who are believed to be held hostage in Gaza. At least 14 are reported missing. Mr. Biden spoke with correspondent Scott Pelley for Sunday night's 60 Minutes.
They have to know that the President of the United States of America cares deeply about what's happening. Deeply. This is not even human behavior. It's pure barbarism. And we're going to do everything in our power to get them home if we can find them.
Hamas has claimed, without verification, that Israeli airstrikes over the past 24 hours have killed 13 hostages. For Americans looking to get out of the region, major airlines have suspended operations there, and CBS's Ed O'Keefe reports the administration's organizing charter flights starting today.
Megan Simmons is desperate to see her sister and family who live near the Gaza border and have been struggling to find a way out.
All you want to do is hug your family member and know that they're okay.
The charters will travel to Athens or Frankfurt, while ships will leave Haifa, ferrying people to Cyprus. A State Department notice says any passenger must be ready to leave within 8 to 12 hours. Bring only a suitcase, a small carry-on, and no pets. And they'll have to pay to the government.
As we hear this morning from CBS's Catherine Herridge, there are signs of stepped-up security in Washington and other U.S. cities.
Barriers are back up here on Capitol Hill, a sign the city is significantly stepping up security. And while there's nothing specific or credible, the threat is being assessed on a minute-by-minute basis. And in New York City, all police officers were told to report in uniform, and off-duty officers were told to be ready at short notice.
It's 4 minutes after the hour.
Well, that's today's news, today's news. I didn't hear any good news, did you? I didn't think so. I guess it's all about perspective. The glass is half full. Well, as always, I'd like to thank you again for coming along with me on these Dash Cam News adventures. You know the drill. Peace, love, and all that hippie jazz. Bye-bye, everybody. It's 54 degrees outside.